Welcome to Study Time, a televised home learning program produced by Rwanda Basic Education Board.
Hello student, welcome to the TV learning programs. As usual, I'm teacher Herbert and I'm going to take you to lesson 2 of biology. And the biology of today is going for senior 2 and the unit 10, which is concerning about excretion in humans. And lesson 2, we're going to talk about the structure of human urinary system. We're going to talk about its functions. And we're going to have a home assignment or a homework. So students, let's first remind ourselves about what is excretion. That is, let's remind ourselves about excretion. We said excretion is the process of removing waste metabolic products from an organism, because if these waste metabolic products are not removed from the body of living organisms, they can affect the normal cell functioning. And we said these waste products, we can have the carbon dioxide, we can have excess salts, we can have excess water. All these waste products, they need to be removed from the body. So, student, we talked about some of the excreted organs and the excreted products. We talked about the skin, and we say the skin is responsible for removing urea, lactic acid, excess water in form of sweat. We talked about the kidney, and the kidney we said is an excreted organ, and it removes excess salts, excess water, and other nitrogenous waste product in form of urine. We talked about the lungs, and we say the lungs is also an excreted organ which excretes the carbon dioxide, and even excess water in form of vapor. We talked about the liver, which also excretes or removes the bile pigments. So now we're going to go to start our lesson, which is concerning about the structure of human urinary system. What are the major components of the human urinary system? So let's first talk about the learning objective of today. We're going to describe the structure of human urinary system. We're also going to talk about the functions of the parts of urinary system. So what are the major components of the human urinary system? The urinary system is made up of 2 kidneys, one on the left side, another one on the right side, all right? The urinary system is also composed of the urinary bladder, all right? And the urinary system is also composed of 2 ureters. And also we have a single urethra that conducts the urine from the urinary bladder to the outside of the body. So these are the major components of the urinary system. So the urinary system is composed. The urinary system is composed of, we said there are 2 kidneys. All right? We have 2 ureters. We have a single urethra. And also the urinary system is also composed of the urinary bladder, which normally stores urine temporarily. The urinary bladder. So we're going to talk about these parts of the kidney. We're going to discuss about how the kidney is acting as an organ for excretion, an organ for removing waste products from the body, all right? We said the kidney are involved in filtering the blood and also separating the metabolic substances from it. So filtering the blood and also separating the waste products from from the blood. These waste products, take an example, like urea, take an example, uric acid, they have to be removed from the blood. So one of the functions of the kidneys, or one of the functions of kidneys, are involved in filtering the blood and separating waste metabolic substances from it. These waste substances, they need to be separated from it. The main purpose of the urinary system is to remove urine from the body. You know how the urine is going to be removed from the body, because if urine is not removed from the body, it can affect the body metabolism. It can affect the body processes, all right? It can affect the normal functioning of the cell. So we said the drainaging of the urine from the bladder through the urethra and out of the body is referred to as urination. So this drainaging of urine from the bladder through the urethra and out of the body is referred to as urination. Student, have you understood? So one of the functions of the kidney is responsible for removing waste products from the body. And these waste products are removed in form of the urine, and urinated and is going to be removed from the body. And urine is composed of nitrogenous waste products. Let's have the structure that tries to show the human urinary system. The human urinary system is made up of very many parts. I'm going to mention those parts. Try to observe on a diagram. The diagram is trying to summarize all parts of the urinary system. Are you observing the diagram? Are you trying to observe the chart of the urinary system? We have the aorta. We have the vein cava. We have the diaphragm. We have the left renal vein. We have the left kidney. We have the right kidney. We have the left renal artery. We have the right renal artery. We have the urinary bladder. We have the right ureter. We have the left ureter. We have the sphincter muscles. And we have a single urethra that conducts urine from the urinary bladder to outside of the body. So that chart is trying to summarize the parts of the urinary system. Student, are you following me? That is a diagram that shows a human urinary system having two kidneys, having the aorta that carries blood to the kidney, and the blood is going to be oxygenated. We have the vein cava, which takes the oxygenated blood. We have the left renal vein. We have the right renal vein. We have the right kidney. We have the left kidney. As you can see, the structure of the kidney is like a bean-shaped structure. If I say a bean-shaped structure, it resembles the structure of a bean. So we have the urinary bladder, which stores urine temporarily, not permanently. So these are the parts that makes up the human urinary system. So students, let's go through the functions and parts of the urinary system. When we talk about the parts of the urinary system, we start with the kidney. Let's go with number one, is the kidney. And we talk about the ureter. We have the bladder. We have the sphincter muscle. We have the urethra. What does these parts that I've mentioned, what does it help? What are the roles of those parts that makes up the urinary system? Let's start with the number one, which is the kidney. Number one is the kidney. We have kidneys, because there are two. We have the kidney. We have the ureter. We have the urinary bladder. And we're going to go through these parts. We have the sphincter muscles. And we're going to talk about the function of each of these parts of the urinary system. Let's start with number one. Let's start with part one, which is the kidney. I said the urinary system keeps everything balance by removing waste products. So if I say it keeps a balancing, so it means that if there are excess water, it has to be removed from the body. If there are excess salts, it also have to be removed from the body. If there are excess water, it has to be removed from the body. So the urinary system keeps everything in balance by removing wastes such as urea, extra salts, extra water, and other things the body does not need. So these things that the body does not need, they are required to be removed from the body, all right? So the urinary system is very important, very vital to our body because it keeps everything in balance by removing wastes such as urea and extra salts, extra water, and other things the body does not need. I think on previous lessons, we talked about the functions of the river, where we say the river does a function of deamination, where we say that excess proteins cannot be stored in the body. They are needed to be broken down, and after being broken down, they are going to be broken down and form what you call urea and glycogen. And glycogen is going to be stored in the river to be used during the time of starvation. So it means that urea, it is going to be removed from the body because it is a waste nitrogenous waste product. Excess salts cannot be stored in the body. The river, the urinary system has to remove those excess salts. Extra water, excess water has to be removed from the body. And other things the body does not need, it has to be removed from the body. I said urea is produced when proteins found in meats are broken down in the body. Once you get proteins, once they are broken down, once proteins are broken down, they are going to produce, if they are broken down, they are going to form what we call glycogen and urea. These are the two products, and even a small amount of uric acid is also going to be produced. So that glycogen is going to be stored in the river, and it can just be used during the time of starvation or during when there is less energy in the body. Let me give you an example. When you're doing exercise, let me say an exercise, I'm talking about strenuous exercise. If you're doing more strenuous exercise, the body needs more glucose. So that glycogen is going to be converted back to glucose and is going to be used for cellular respiration to provide energy, all right? So I said the kidney, they are two in a pair. And we have what we say, they are red-brown and are located below the ribs of the middle of the back. Kidney are normally located at the middle of the back, and they have the following functions. Student, I want to give you a small time to think about what are the functions of the kidneys. What does the kidney do? I mentioned one of the functions of the kidney. It does the function of removing waste metabolic products from the body, where I talked about urea and even in form of the urine, all right? And now we're going to go through some of the functions of the kidney. Student, think about it in a short time, and you tell me what are the functions of the kidney in our body. What will happen if the kidney either is not functioning properly, maybe either of some of the diseases. Diseases can cause a poor functioning of the kidney. And what will be the outcome when the kidneys are not functioning properly? We're going to have a number of functions of the kidney. Number one is removing wastes from the blood in form of urine. I mentioned it. Removing of wastes from the blood in form of urine is normally done by the kidney. Student, are you following me? So one of the functions of the kidney is removing wastes from the blood in the form of urine. We remove, I said, the process of removing urine from the body or drainaging of urine from the body is referred to as urination. So removing waste from the blood in form of urine is normally done by the kidneys. So it means that when the kidneys are not functioning properly, it means the removal of these, filtering, removing of wastes from the blood is not going to be done properly. Let's have another function of the kidney. Keeps substances stable in the blood. Keeps substances stable in the blood. What are those substances I'm talking about? They can be salts, all right? They can be water. They need to be kept stable. And I think when we talk about stable, I mean what you call homeostasis, balancing. Said it plays a role of balancing substances in the body, in the blood. These substances have to be balanced. If they are not balanced, they can affect the normal functioning of the cells. Number 3, makes erythropoietin. That is supposed to be a hormone which helps making red blood cells. That erythropoietin is a hormone that plays a very big function to make what you call red blood cells. And I know some of you remember what are the functions of red blood cells. Transport of oxygen is done by red blood cells. So the kidney makes erythropoietin, which is a hormone which helps to make red blood cells. Number 4, the kidney is very important to make vitamin D active. It means that the kidney is the one that makes vitamin D active. A lack of vitamin D suffer from what we call rickets, poor bone formation, all right? So it means that it is also responsible for making vitamin D active, all right? The kidney also plays a very important function to regulate blood pressure. So those are the functions of the kidney. Let's go to another part of the urinary system, which is called ureter. I said the ureter, there are 2 in pairs. We have the left ureter, we have the right ureter. What are the functions of ureter? I said each kidney has a narrow tube, which is called ureter. That narrow tube that is coming from the kidney to the urinary bladder is referred to as the ureter. Good. Which carries urine from the kidney to the urinary bladder. So the conduction of the urine from the kidney to the urinary bladder is normally done by ureter, and they are 2 in pairs. I said, the muscles in the ureter walls are tightened and relaxed, forcing urine to drawn in this tube. Once they contract and relax, the urine is going to be drawn from the urinary bladder, from the kidney to the urinary bladder, and away from the kidney. So these ureter are the one that conducts urine. I can summarize by saying that the kidney has a narrow tube called what you call ureter, which carries urine from the kidney to the urinary bladder or to the bladder. And I said the muscles in the urethra walls are tightened and relaxed, forcing the urine drawn this tube away from the kidneys. Let's have another part, which is called another part of the urinary system. We have the bladder. So we are through with the kidney. We have talked about ureter. We are going to talk about the urinary bladder, which is number 3. And what does the urinary bladder do? Student, it is very interesting to know the function of the urinary bladder, or the bladder, which is a bladder is like, I can talk about a sac that stores urine temporarily, not permanently. It stores urine temporarily. So the bladder is a triangular-shaped structure and hollow organ located at the lower abdomen. In the lower abdomen, that's where the bladder is located. It is held in place by a ligament attached to the pelvic bones. There are some of the ligament that connects the bladder to the pelvic bones. The bladder swells, the bladder walls relaxes and expands to store urine temporarily, and contracts and flattens to empty the urine through urethra. Once there is contraction, and that one will just be flattened, and that one will cause the emptying of the urine to the urethra, and now the urine is going to be discharged from the body as a waste product. So let's have another part which is called, we had number 1, we had number 2, we had number 3, we had number 4, which is going to be the sphincter muscles. The sphincter muscles are very important. These are circular muscles that helps to keep urine from leakaging. So, you know, leakaging of the urine, that is something which is dangerous to our body. So it means that these muscles, they have to be tightened and prevent the urine from leakaging, all right? By closing tightly like a rubber band around the opening of the bladder. So if you know like a rubber band, if I'm trying to draw it very quickly, this is the urinary bladder, and below the urinary bladder we have these 2 muscles which are called the sphincter muscles. These sphincter muscles are very important to prevent the leakaging of the urine by closing tightly like a rubber band and around the opening of the bladder, so the urine will not be leaking. But it can also happen due to aging, when these sphincter muscles are no longer able to be stronger and tightened to prevent the leakaging of the urine. And you find the urine is discharging frequently without stopping. That is a disease, and that one is caused by the loss of elasticity of those sphincter muscles when they are not very strong enough to tighten the urine for some time. I know we don't urinate any time when you feel. You normally do it when the urinary bladder stores urine for some time. So these sphincter muscles has to be more tightened. They have to tighten and keeps the urine for some time. Let's talk about the urethra. The urethra is a tube that allows the urine to pass outside the body. So urethra is the one that is normally discharging the urine outside of the body, and most of the time, the urethra is also associated with the reproductive system, all right? So I said the urethra is a tube that allows urine to pass outside of the body. And once the brain signals that there is excess urine in the urinary bladder, it sends some messages or nerve messages. Now, these sphincter muscles, they have to relax and allow urine to pass outside of the body as waste products. So I said the brain signals the bladder muscles to tighten, which squeezes urine out of the bladder. At the same time, the brain signals the sphincter muscles to relax, to let urine exit the bladder through urethra, and that one will be involving what we call urination. When all these signals occurs in a correct order, normal urination occurs. When they are signaled very properly, now a normal urination occurs. That's when we feel you want to urinate. You want to remove this urine from the body, and that one must be signaled by the brain. And we can summarize by saying that the kidney are bean-shaped structures. I mentioned it earlier, and they are red-brown in color. They lie near the back of the abdomen cavity, about the level of a waistline, which is about the level of a waistline, and each kidney can weigh between 142.5 grams. That's supposed to be, and I know the left kidney and the right kidney are not equal in size. And we have the kidney is supplied with very many, from the general circulatory system by the renal artery, which branches off to the aorta, and the blood from the kidney goes back to the general circulation through the renal vein. I said the renal artery brings oxygenated blood, and the renal vein carries the oxygenated blood, which joins at the vein cover. A tube which is called the ureter, which connects each kidney to the bladder located at the lower abdomen. Let's have the internal structure of the kidney. The kidney internally is made up of very many parts, but I can make it to be 3 major parts. We have the cortex, we have the medulla, and we have the pelvis. These are the 3 major parts that makes the internal structure of the kidney. This is a cross-section of the kidney, as you can try to see it properly. This is a cross-section of the kidney, and you can try to allocate it and see how these things can just be. We have these 3 major parts. We have the cortex, we have the medulla, as I mentioned, and we have the last one, which is the pelvis. And next time, we're going to discuss about the nephron. Let's talk about the function of each. The cortex is the outer part, and it is dark in color. It contains a dense network of blood capillaries that form a glomerula of nephron. And you know nephron is the best functional unit of the kidney is the nephron. We talk about the medulla, which is number 2. The medulla, which is number 2, this is a pale reddish in color and lies between. It is found between the cortex and the pelvis. And it contains what you call several cone-like extension, which is called pyramids. We have another part which is called the pelvis. This is a part which is white in color, and it narrows from the ureter, and the pelvis is a collecting space leading to the urethra. And as you can try to go back and see the structure of this is supposed to be, this is the internal part, external part, which is the cortex. We have this one, which is the medulla. And we have the part which is connecting to the urethra, which are called the pelvis. So the pelvis is connected to the urethra. And I said the urethra is the one that conducts urine from the kidney to the urinary bladder. So let's talk about the nephron, as I mentioned it. The nephron is the most important function of the kidney, and it is responsible for excretion. The best functional unit of the kidney is referred to as the nephron. And this takes place in a tiny unit, what are called nephrons, or rhinotubules. A nephron is therefore referred to as the functional unit of the kidney. So next time, we're going to talk about the structure of the nephron and its function. How does it play a very important role in ultrafiltration and also selective reabsorption? So students, let me just leave you with a home assignment or homework. We have the diagram that tries to show you, this diagram is trying to show you, the diagram below shows the mammalian urinary system. On it, you indicate the renal artery, the urethra, the ureter, as well as the left kidney. And we have an objective questions in which organ excess amino acids are broken down. We have number 1, lungs, the heart, and even the kidney, and even the liver. Number 3, the active uptake of substances into the blood from the nephron is referred to as dash dash. We have A, we have B, we have C, and we have D. The last question is saying the kidney function is achieved by ultrafiltration, secretion, selective reabsorption. Both A and B are correct, or above are correct. So students, thank you for watching and participating in my lesson. I wish you the best of the day. See you next time.